Let's take a look at how we can sync our complete data to our iOS device. So from the main screen of complete data, we can see we have sync iOS, but to initially get our data across onto our iOS device, we need to come up into scripts and run the initial push to the iOS. So we need to select run here, and this will run through all of our databases and push them across to the iOS device. So it goes through and it clears out all the information that is currently on the device. So at the moment I have some test data on there that it's going to delete the records of before it starts pushing across my new information. So we don't need to hit stop here or anything like this. It's not deleting our actual records, it's just clearing out the old database. While it's updating, we can jump into our iTunes account, iPad, and we can come into our apps. In here we need to make sure that we have, if we scroll down to file sharing, so we can use our toolbar on the left hand side here, we can scroll to file sharing, we need to make sure we have FileMaker Go as one of our apps. If we don't have FileMaker Go, we need to select on our select to search for FileMaker Go, press enter, which we'll see is accessing the iTunes store for FileMaker Go. We have here our iPhone apps. So if we're using the iPhone, we can select the download for our iPhone app. And we just need to select our Apple ID and our password. If we don't have an Apple ID, we just need to create one. For now, we'll select cancel if we're using the iPad version. Once we've downloaded our apps, we should see them appear straight into our file sharing here. So we should have the FileMaker Go app. What we can do here to reduce some of the clutter is we can get rid of some of these free databases that come with the software. So we just simply select delete, and then it's going to delete that database. So we can delete out the databases that are here at the moment, as we haven't added any of our information. So I'm just selecting delete on the keyboard and then selecting enter for delete. So now we've deleted all the documents. We can come back and we can see that our files are in sync, so we just need to remember to add the new complete data file to our external device before we leave the office. Okay, I can select OK here. It's brought me back to the main screen. I should always close complete data down while I'm syncing the device, so I can close it back down. I can come back into iTunes. I can select on FileMaker Go, and if I scroll down I can add my FileMaker Go database. This is a complete data file, so I just select complete data. We jump back and have a look. This file is in local C drive, complete data go. So this is where this file always lives. So we just need to make sure we go into here to select this file each time. So now that this has been synced across, and we can see all the files that we have from our FileMaker Go device. So I'm on an iPad here at the moment, and I can see all the information I have. I can select on FileMaker Go, which will then bring up my files on the device. You should have an icon that you can also click on, a complete data icon on the iPad desktop, but we'll just show you this way for now. The iPad icon on the iPad desktop will automatically bring you into this screen here where we can fill in our details. To go into the database. So once I select Go here, I've now been brought through to my complete data on my iPad. I can start working with the record, so I can select into contacts, and I can edit a contact if I like, so I can go into Jim, and I can start entering the information I like, or I can go to the next record and enter more information. I could add a new record. So in this instance, it's a Mr. Smith, and we've got his mobile number as well. So we can see it's automatically corrected our formatting for the mobile number. If we scroll down further, we can see we've got the year and the address line automatically filled in. So we could continue working with these records, and once we come back into the office, jump back out of our AirPlay. Come back to our computer, and we need to make sure that we plug our iPad back in. So we can see the iPad is plugged back in. We're not going to sync it for the moment. So what we can do here is we can jump into our apps again. So we select on the iPad, select on apps, and then we come down to file sharing. So we can see here we've got our database, which was modified today at 12:19, so that's the same time as down the bottom here. We just scroll down a little bit further, we can see that we need to select our FileMaker or Complete Data FMP12, and we want to save this. We want to save this to our local C, Complete Data Go file. So we just select the folder, select Replace for the file that's already there. And we need to make sure that we always want to do this while Complete Data is closed. So once we've got this file set up in there, we then want to open our Complete Data back up. And we have two options here for syncing it. We can sync our iOS device here, or we can jump straight into our contacts. We can go into scripts, and we can sync our mobile data. So it's up to you which button you'd like to press here. Okay, so this has synced our information across. We should be able to go to our last record here, and we have Mr. Dean Smith with all the relevant information set against him. If we want to continue working in our database, we can create a new contact in here. So we've got J Sue. Have their mobile and their email address. Select continue, and this will check whether this record's already in our database or not, and then we can go through and we can fill in any other relevant information. Once we've work with this record and we've got all of our information filled in, and we're ready to go back out onto the road, we need to make sure that we sync our device back up again. So before we take our iPad back out on the road, we need to always make sure that we sync it just before we leave. So we can sync the mobile data. And this is putting the information back into our file so that we can take it back out on the road. Okay, so our sync is completed. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we close complete data back down. We can go back into our iTunes and we just want to add our database again. So we want to add it back into our iOS device before we take it back out onto the road. So we need to make sure we go to local disk C, complete data, go, and open our file. So we can replace our file. So now instead of our file being updated at 12:19, it was now last updated at 12:24. So we can press sync here and this will sync our data back across onto our iPad. Thank you for watching the Complete Data tutorial on synchronization between Complete Data desktop and iOS devices.